Money should not be keeping you from pursuing your dreams of becoming a photographer. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to start a photography business on a shoestring budget. Hello, my name is Mike Lloyd. I have been a professional photographer since 2010, teaching since 2012. And when I got started, I had no money, like nothing. So I graduated college in the recession. I moved to France to teach English for a bit. And at the end of my allowed stay, I had to come back and I had no job and no money. And I started a photography business because that is logically what you do rather than, like go get a job or something. But that's not for me. So I figured out how to do this on a budget, and I'm going to share with you exactly how you can do it as well. Now, given you have YouTube videos and you have social media and smartphones and all the things that I didn't have access to when I got started, like they weren't invented yet. We had YouTube, but we did not have all the tools and education that you have available to you. So you are already at a significant advantage. And if I can do it with no prior experience, and I'm colorblind, yet here I am a professional photographer, you can do it too. So my tips are, number one, buy used equipment. Number two, build an audience organically. Number three, reinvest the money you make back into the business. Number four, rent whenever possible. And number five, practice with intention. And that's a big one, and I'll explain what that means when we get there. So number one, buy used gear whenever you can. You do not need the newest, latest, greatest, shiniest everything or anything really to be a professional photographer. Our cameras, our lenses, our lights, everything that we have is just a tool for a job. So a brand new wrench and a 10-year-old wrench are still going to loosen the same bolts. They're going to do just fine. Camera gear, obviously, using a really old piece of equipment will be outdated and not give you as good image quality, but you don't have to buy a 20-year-old piece of camera equipment. You can get one that's maybe like 3 years old and save a ton of money on it. Keep in mind, cameras have a lifespan. We keep track of the shutter count if it actually has a shutter like a DSLR would, and that is like tracking miles in your car. So you don't want something with over 100,000 actuations, which is what we call the opening and closing of the shutter. So keep that in mind when you're buying your camera. Get one that's used, but gently used, just like when you're buying a car. And you can get used lenses, but when you go check them out, make sure they're not damaged. There's no mold or mildew growing inside. They don't have, greasy chicken fingers smeared all over the outside of them. Because I've gone to look at lenses before that looks like toddlers were playing with them at snack time, and there's absolutely no way I was going to put that on my camera or try to photograph people with it. So check out the gear. Usually it's pretty well taken care of, and you can get great camera equipment without having to spend a ton of money. Summertime, also a good time. Late spring is usually a good time for that because a lot of people will buy camera gear right around the start of the year with their resolutions, new hobbies, new year, new me. And like every gym membership that ends in February, every weight loss plan that falls apart by January 7th, they have all this expensive gear around and now they want to get rid of it because it's just collecting dust. So you can pick up great deals in late spring or around Black Friday. There's a ton of times throughout the year you can buy great equipment. Also, if you're like, I want to buy a new Nikon, check out whatever Nikon has just released or is about to release, and odds are you can get the previous model at a great price. Like I shoot the Nikon Z7 and I love that camera. The Z7 II is already out, but you can go buy a Z7, which is phenomenal, at a great price because the newer model is already out. When the Z7 Mark III comes out, if they make one of those, then the Mark II is probably going to hit the shelves for the used market, and you can swoop those at a great price. So buying used gear, whether it's lights or reflectors or cameras and lenses, gonna save you a ton of money, and your clients are never gonna know the difference. Even if they do know the difference, they don't care. They wanna feel good and they wanna look good, and your gear can do that. Number two, building your audience organically. I bring in almost all of my business with paid advertising because all marketing costs one of two things: time, money. I have enough going on in my business right now, and frankly, my life, that I don't want to spend the time to do a lot of the organic stuff. So I spend the money instead. However, when I got started, well, one, Facebook ads weren't a thing yet, but also, I didn't have any money, so I couldn't do that. I had to do everything organically. And it has never been easier / harder to build an organic audience. So what I mean by that is right now, there are more people than ever trying to do the thing. However, there are few people actually doing it properly. And if you do it correctly, you will beat out all of the competition. What do I mean by that? You make posts on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or wherever you want to share stuff. I don't know, make YouTube videos. And then analyze what your audience responds to. So if I make certain videos on this YouTube channel that people just don't watch, or they watch a minute of and then check out of, and it performs really poorly, I'm probably not going to make more videos like that. Maybe I'll make a few. Say I've got 4 videos that are all on a certain topic. If no one watches those, I'm not going to continue making videos on those. But whenever I make a video on lighting, on sales, and on posing, they get a ton of views. So I'm going to continue making more content to grow this audience. And it's the same on my own social media channels. I look at whatever content I post on my pages or my business's Facebook page and Instagram account, and I see what do people respond to, what brings in leads, and what gets crickets. And I'm going to do more of the stuff that works and less of the stuff that doesn't. So rather than be attached to the kinds of content that you are creating, be attached to the outcome and be flexible. Every 30, 60, 90 days, do a recap with your analytics, see what worked well, what didn't, and where you want to move forward. So point number 3 is a really big one, and I wish I would have done this so much sooner than I did. Take the money you make and reinvest it back into the business. Now, I had no money, so a lot of what I made, I had to put towards rent and food and stuff like that. But I also didn't spend it as wisely as I could have. If you take that money and reinvest it back into the business, you will grow your business so much faster. So what do I mean by that? If you take the very first client you make, and let's say you only make $300 on this photo shoot, okay? Rather than spend all that money on whatever else you're going to spend it on personal-wise, keep it in the business. That money is not yours yet. Yes, you made the money, but it belongs in the business. You don't get to spend it. Maybe if it's your very first sale ever, yeah, go out and have a nice dinner, but don't have a $300 dinner. Have a $30 dinner, and then, take that $270, keep it in the business, and let it grow. And by that, I don't mean like buy stocks or put it in a savings account, but use it to then make more money. So you could take that money and do a sponsored blog post for a local moms group that could help you book more clients. Maybe that money is going to allow you to rent new lenses so you can take different kinds of photos, or rent lights at your next shoot so that you can, just up your photography game and take more dynamic photos, or rent a photo studio and then go in there and practice for a while. Maybe it means hiring a social media manager or someone to help you with your marketing. There are a ton of things that you can do with that money that will help you grow the business faster. Because remember, a business grows when you spend one of two things, time or money. And if you can use a little bit of time to make some money and then spend both of those resources to grow the business, you will grow it so much faster. I promise. So really consider the areas where you can use the money to amplify the effort spent. Maybe you had one post that did really, really well and a couple people messaged you about booking shoots. That's a good one to boost or run it as an ad and put that in front of more eyeballs so it could bring you even more business. Or maybe it's hiring a coach or purchasing a course from the Boudoir Guild, where you could then learn how to market your business better, what to charge, what to sell, how to pose people, how to light people. That education is going to help you grow even faster. So reinvest the money you make back into the business. And this is all part of learning how to run a business, is of the revenue that comes in, which of it goes to the government, which of it covers your fixed cost, your variable cost, which of it can be paid to you as profit, and which of it needs to stay in the business to allow the business to grow. Number 4, rent whenever possible. There have been, 4 times in my life up until about a year ago where I needed a 70 to 200 millimeter lens because I shoot in a studio and I generally am not far enough away from people to need 200 millimeters, and even 70 is I just don't need that. I prefer my 35 and my 50 millimeter lenses. So when I did need them to go shoot an event or something, I would just go rent it. And for $20 a day, you can rent a lens instead of spending thousands of dollars to buy one. Same thing goes with lights, same thing goes with cameras or studio space. You don't need to spend money on a studio, like signing a commercial lease, if you're only going to shoot in a studio every once in a while. I made that mistake many years ago. I thought if I had a photo studio, people would think I'm super legit and they would just be lining up outside to throw money at me. And that was absolutely not the case. I was mostly an outdoor photographer. I didn't need studio space, given I used the office as a sales room to do my IPS sessions, but I didn't need to rent a big commercial studio space to just do my IPS sessions. I could have got something a quarter of the size and spent very little money. So I had it for less than a year and I was able to let other photographers take it over and I got out of that, thankfully. But you don't need to make that same mistake. Just rent things when you need them and don't buy them until you're going to need it all the time. So now I use the 70 to 200, maybe once a shoot, because shooting boudoir, I do detail shots with it. If you have a macro lens, that could be great for you. And if you're like, I don't do any of those things, then cool. Maybe you don't need it yet. Just start small. Use your lens that you've got, your 50, your 35 millimeter, whatever, and get really good at that. And then rent when you need to, and then see if you can go from there. And so when I did decide, you know what? I want to start doing detail shots. I'm going to get a longer lens, one of the 70 to 200s. I rented one. I had 4 shoots booked over a weekend. So I rented it for 2 days. I spent $50 on it. And I used it in all 4 of my shoots to see, one, what kind of detail shots am I going to take? Do I even take enough to make it worth it? And when I do their IPS sessions, do people buy those shots? Because maybe I think they're super cool detail shots of like lacy bra strap or like underwear waistband or something. But if my clients don't care and they don't buy them, then it's a waste of time and money. So I test drove it for 4 shoots over a weekend. The IPS sessions came. My clients loved those photos and I went and bought the lens. That's what I recommend that you do as well. And number 5, lastly, is practice with intention. So what do I mean by that? Rather than go into a shoot, maybe you've got a model and you're like, I'm going to practice boudoir today. Don't just practice boudoir in general. Go into it with a more targeted game plan. Like today, I'm going to work on 1 light setups or 2 light setups. Today, I'm going to work with boudoir poses on a chair, on a bed, on a couch, on the floor. Pick one thing and just focus on that for the whole session. Because if you're just doing the couple easy things on a chair and then you move to the bed and I'm like pointing to things around my room as if you can see them, then you're not really going to dive deep and learn the nuances of any of those things. But if you say, I'm going to spend 2 hours today just posing with chairs, what is everything I can do with a chair? They're going to sit in it. They're going to turn around and straddle the chair. They're going to stand next to it. They're going to lay over the top of it. They're going to hide behind it. They're going to dance around it, whatever, sit next to it and rest their head on the seat. I've done all kinds of things with chairs because to fill 2 hours of shoot time with one thing, you're going to have to get real creative. And that is practicing with intention. If you want to do 1 light setups in your boudoir sessions, like I generally do, or like I did for the first 10 years of shooting, amazing. You can get really, really good with 1 light setups and walk into any environment and know how to make it work. And then I started adding 2 lights. I'd have a background light or a rim light, or we added color gels. And I've started expanding it while still keeping the same dark and moody look because the initial limitation I had was money. I could not afford more than 1 flash. So I had to get really good using 1 light, and I loved the dark and moody look. But then I was able to purchase more equipment, and I bought 4 lights and a ton of soft boxes and all kinds of grids and stuff, and I was only using 1 light still, despite having all this other gear. So I thought, well, what is my objective? Is it to just say I'm a 1 light photographer? Because nobody cares. I don't feel any cooler with that. No, I want the dark and moody look. So how do I make my photos more dynamic while keeping on brand? And I added a 2nd light into my set. And I do it for most of my images now, but I don't think I need a 3rd. I don't know, maybe someday I'll get there. But the point is, choose the objective of your session, of what you want to achieve, what you want to master, and just focus on that for 1 shoot. This isn't a client shoot. This is a shoot with a friend or a model or something, and the objective is to practice and learn. So dive all in on the couch, dive all in on the chair, on the floor, lean it against a wall, on the bed, and just play and get as creative as you can. That is practicing with intention. I don't want to say it's the only way, but I believe it is the best way to get really good really fast. Alrighty, so those are my 5 tips for getting started as a boudoir photographer on a shoestring budget. Number 1 is buy used gear. You don't need the newest, latest, greatest version of anything, well, at least when you're getting started. Number 2, build an audience organically. Number 3, take the money you make, reinvest it in the business. Use your early revenue to grow the business faster. Rent every opportunity you get before you absolutely have to buy something. And number 5, practice with intention. Focus on one thing, master it, and then move on. So check out my other video, how to start a boudoir photography business. Focus less on the money and just other things that will help you get better faster and start becoming profitable ASAP. I got that linked down below. And be sure to subscribe to this channel because 1, it'll make you a better photographer. So I hear. And 2, you won't miss any of my other videos, which could be the game changer and getting you out of your 9-to-5 and into the world of professional photography. And if you're like, Mike, this is cool, but can you just tell me everything I need to know right now so I can start making money ASAP and be a really good photographer? Well, yeah, I can. Head to boudoirguild.com and check out the courses over there where you can learn exactly how I light, how I pose, how I sell what I sell, how I get new clients, and how I run a business so you too can make multiple 6 figures of revenue shooting boudoir photography. You are amazing. See you inside.